Welcome to Patchwork, a Game Woven production. When we want to follow up on an interesting character or event in the Game Woven world, but don't want to get too distracted from the main storyline, we branch off and post those recordings here. Like Game Woven, each of these sessions takes place in the Game Woven world and further fleshes out the setting through play. We hope you enjoy. In this episode of Patchwork, myself, Lex, Emily, Rob, and Zad, all from the main cast, run a session of This is a Game About Fishing. This session takes place in the middle of our Streets of Magic arc. If you recall, we alluded at the end of the first compass about a terror attack that destroyed a few factories. Well, look no further because this is the terror attack. It's fun, it's goofy, I play a dog. Yeah, I'm gonna bring my laptop with me. We're all gonna hit the watering hole. I've got
Hey, it's pretty nice out.
Hello and welcome to Game Woven. For this episode, we take you far, far away from the Undying Empire, up to the northwest corner of the entire continent, in a kingdom called Tarsig, where the forces of mercantilism and monarchy have subsumed the mysteries of magic into purchasable trinkets. Massive factories construct these trinkets, poisoning the waters and keeping people in horrible working conditions. But what's worse is they're killing all of the fish, every single one of them. And who, yes, who can save the fish but a bunch of queer people who really love fish a lot? That's right! This is a game about fishing, a queer eco-punk belonging outside belonging game by River House Games. This is a game about fishing is ostensibly queer.
Explicitly.
Yeah,
Hey, I didn't even know that. Now I'm more interested.
it is very be gay do crime. This is a game about fishing. You're going to play some queer fisherfolk in a world that has faced ecological apocalypse. The world in which you live is doing all right, I guess. People get by, although some people have it much better than others. Much, much better. The folks in charge of destroying the world have names and addresses, and this game encourages you to take back a little bit of the environment from them. This is also a game about shitposting, about stretching the limits of credulity, and about how the absurd can offer shelter to those in need. When your world is inches from collapse, it can be difficult to keep your head above water. The power of absurd humor is that it highlights how absurd the serious is. This game is not a pipe, but you should wield it like one to fight depression away. Be silly, be weird, be gay, do crime. Those are the words from the text. That is from the text.
Hey, so I'm coming into this game entirely blind, and the more you talk about it, the more excited I am.
I'm
You've heard me say the phrase "weaponize your whimsy" more than once.
Oh, we're weaponizing the shit out of our whimsy.
This is where I live.
Let's do it,
Yeah.
baby.
Rob, would you like to elucidate a little bit more on Tarsig?
Yeah, my vision is because you said the word mountain, and then my mind said caldera. So
Ooh.
I'm imagining a very inactive giant caldera which filled with water and became a massive lake. The caldera is the part of the volcano where the lava would come out. Really, this is giving in my head a real Pokemon village vibe where it's just like, why would you build your village around an inactive volcano and the lake that formed in it? Just because that's the vibe. But it feels like to me that the because this lake is not just like a lake, it's in like a cool volcano caldera and has all kinds of stuff. It's got magical properties, and that's part of the reason why they use the water in the factories. And they and then they're polluting it and doing all that other stuff. But I'm imagining very
Yeah.
oil rig gantry vibes. Like the city is just a big circle. It's not like a big dense thing. It's just this giant gross sprawling thing that's grown around the caldera, like leeching off of it.
Hell yeah.
Oof.
I think there's probably villages that dot sort of the outside of the volcano
Mm,
as well. And so people have to like walk up hills both ways to like get to the city to go to work for their
Back in
terrible
my
jobs.
day.
Back in my day.
100%. A lot of those villages have begun to get abandoned because there are like giant, like now like downward rivers of the like toxic
Yeah.
sludge
Oh
from the
yeah.
Oof.
factories. So like every like 10 years, another village has to just like move somewhere else because a tributary of sludge has like come off.
And I
Mm.
think this specific caldera like feeds several other tributaries that hit the water system. And so
Yeah.
like Tarsig is like poisoning a
A lot.
pretty large area. And I also would love it if the volcano was at the edge next to the ocean so that we could get some
Yeah.
sick ass like crashing fjords.
Yes. 100%.
Like the Cascades in Oregon?
Hey Ben, what's a fjord?
A fjord is a giant cliff next to the ocean.
Okay, cool.
So what we're gonna do is we've kind of got our setting. Now remember, so ecopunk implies modernness. We are
Mhm.
still in fantasy. So all of this industrial waste is fantasy industrial waste. Make that of what you no, you can be wasteful in the
Yeah.
fantasy worlds. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
there's chemicals in these
Mhm.
processes. I think the funnest thing that Zad came up with was that one of the big things is in Tarseg, there is magic, but it is not okay to cast magic spells.
Yes. It is a deeply held cultural taboo. I think within the city, it is actually illegal to do the traditional thing of basically DIY, drawing on the powers of the world or something that is within yourself in order to produce the kinds of magical effects that we've been seeing this whole time. Instead, what they do, what's been mandated, is that all supernatural and magical effects must be channeled through some sort of manufactured good. So that's what a lot of these factories are producing is like magical trinkets. And the magical trinkets are indicative of one spell that they cast. If you need a lock, if you need to do like the knock spell in D&D, you have like a little portable keyhole with a spike on the end, and you drive it into the door, and then you stick your magical key in and you turn the lock, and that unlocks the door. But you can't just like have a magic wand, tap the door, and the door comes unlocked. So that's a setting element and a thing that they need to produce in mass. It's their major export. They ship these things all around, and that's where all of the money comes from.
Weirdly, the most sold product is the equivalent of a like prestidigitation spell in 5e, a like cleaning or like convenience spell. I don't.
Yeah.
That's probably not related, but you know.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with the sludge.
Moxie clean.
Yeah, it'll clean the dust, but it won't clean like sludge or like really nasty stuff.
Yeah.
No,
How's
the
the
most it
orange
can
is
do
done?
is displace sludge. Like it can't get rid of the sludge. It can only
Move it
move it to a
around.
different place.
You can take a 1 foot square of sludge and move it in a 1 foot square of.
Unfortunately, you can only have 1 square foot of sludge in a square foot space, so you
Uh-huh.
can't stack them.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
Stem stacking does not exist.
So
in this
you're
game.
just moving it to a clear space.
Hey, none of this is important.
I thought it was a good goof.
You just brush it all into the sludge tributaries that take it down the mountain and problem
Yeah.
solved.
Wow.
1 square foot at a time.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like a lot of magical research has gone into it. There is to current knowledge no way to magically destroy the sludge.
Why don't we get into some playbooks? So each one,
Yeah.
we're all going to be playing characters because it's a game where you play a character,
Mhm,
and
mhm, mhm.
each one of the characters have playbooks. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with belonging outside belonging, the core mechanic is that each of the playbooks have prompts, and then in play, if our respective prompt comes up, then we answer that prompt. You'll see in play, but it's basically like you sort of program your character's playbook on the fly a little bit. There are no dice, there is no GM. It's just all goof 'em ups and silly activities involving aquatic life. Who would like to introduce their playbook first?
Hell yeah. I'm the weirdo. Every living thing creates an impression on the world. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. To hunt a species to extinction is not logical. You can see the scales of the ghosts at night when you dream, and you hear the splash of spectral tales on the waters of reality. They all think you're weird, but you know that ghosts are real. They don't know yet the power you can pull from the dead, but they will.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Fish, ghost, fish, ghost,
Ghost,
fish,
Fish,
ghost.
ghosts,
Fish, ghost, fish, ghost, fish, ghost.
For my look, I'm gonna go with eager and exhausted. But for my character, I'll also go for eager and exhausted. For clothes, I love an old duster. And then, so this is a classic staple of a lot of more rules like games where it's you have and then choose three. And I've been sitting here trying to find what three I have to limit myself to. So I'm going to say I have these three things. I have a pet rodent. I have someone after me, and I have someone else's teeth.
Oh my god, yeah.
And I want to make it very clear, those are two different someones. I do not have the
That is
person
not
who's
their
after
teeth.
me's teeth. No. Those are two very different human beings.
Oh my god, you also have a ghost haunting you that takes the form of a barracuda.
Yes. And that's I don't have just because I'm playing the weirdo, I have to have a ghost haunting me that takes the form of a bird.
Even if a barracuda does not make sense in the aquatic ecosystem, it is a barracuda. That's in there.
Here's the
Yep.
problem, actually. This barracuda is very chatty. Okay, so I've gotten the whole backstory of this barracuda. I don't know. It doesn't even know how it got in there. But the problem is because it was killed by the pollution in the caldera, it technically counts as an extinct a species being going extinct within the caldera. So it's real pissed. Like, yeah, 1 out of 1 got killed, but that's still 100% mortality rate.
That's technically an extinction. Oh my god. Rob, did you just imply that the caldera has a weird effect where, like, if the last of something dies in the caldera, it haunts the caldera forever?
That's what the barracuda's telling me. Can I trust that barracuda? Fuck if I know. But it sure does say some compelling things.
The weirdo has 3 prompt questions. Who taught you how to see ghosts?
No one. I just started seeing them and I can't stop.
Outstanding.
Excellent.
I close my eyes and the ghosts are still there.
Ooh.
Oh,
That's awesome. Don't like that.
Light doesn't matter to ghosts.
ghosts.
If I close
yeah.
my eyes, they're still there.
It's a
If I
new.
go to sleep, I'm no longer conscious, so I don't perceive them, but I'm sure they're still there and I could still see them.
Yeah, it brings a new meaning to like the floaters in
Mhm.
your eyes
Mhm. And there's a lot of those.
because they're fish.
Hmm. Rob, what calming ritual do you do every day?
I'm trying to teach my rat how to compete in those dog events, where like you have the dog that jump through the hoops. And I don't
Mhm.
want them to, I'm trying to make it so that they can compete at the dog level.
Okay.
We're not there yet, but they've got ambition and I think I see something. I think they could take it all the way.
And finally, why do animals flock to you?
Well, first of all, my rat definitely is like, yeah, you can trust this guy.
That's
Because
good PR from the
really
rat.
close.
How does your rat do that?
Word of mouth.
I don't know. Do you speak rat? I don't. But also, I do for A, constantly smell like dead fish, and B, constantly have random bits of semi-edible detritus that animals don't care. They'll eat it. So,
Gross.
hey, you asked the question.
I didn't ask the question. This is a game about fishing. Ask the question.
Rob, what's the character's name? I don't think we ever got name and pronouns.
It's a great question. I'm gonna say Bell. Bell.
Who would like to go next, introducing their playbook?
I'm playing the Crafter.
Ooh, the crafter.
Ooh.
Tell us about the crafter.
You've got tools for everything. If you don't, you know just what you need to make it work. You tinker and toy with everything, and honestly, who cares if you can't put it back together? Because mostly the experience is just taking it apart, right? Run-on sentences are your thing.
Oh,
Your
no.
hobby is expensive, and sometimes you gotta rub 2 nickels together to make 3, but that's just how it goes, man.
All right, keep her going.
For my look, I'm gonna go with geared and grimy.
Yeah,
My clothes, overly pocketed vest, for sure.
excellent.
When you say geared and grimy, is it gear in the you've got lots of stuff, or is it the more like steampunk literal your stuff has gears?
I think I just have bags of gears in case of emergency.
Gotcha.
I have to choose 3, and this one's pretty easy. I have mold. I'm gonna have lots of mold. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I need mold. Guys, I saw it as an option,
Never know when you're.
and I just had to pick mold. The right tool for every job.
Woo.
Oof.
And I'm gonna take a tiny drone that follows you around, but it's like a taxidermied squid I turned into a drone.
Like a weird magic, like flying taxidermied squid.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's not
That's
creepy.
excellent.
Tell me that it like helicopters around by having its head
Yeah.
upside down and just
absolutely. Yeah.
the tentacles.
No, the head stays right way up. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
good.
Yeah.
Well, that would look silly if it was
Tentacles are
upside
the
down.
propellers.
Oh, yeah.
Does that
That'd
mean
just be
does that mean
ridiculous.
it's both it can fly and it's also aquatic?
No, it can only fly.
It can only fly. It can't go
No,
wow.
it
fact,
will
it
throw it
can't
out in the
do-
water.
It can no longer swim.
It can no longer swim.
Only weakness is water. If
Yeah.
a single piece drop of water
Yeah.
hits it, it will die.
It can spray ink.
Ink, importantly, not water.
Not water.
No, it's ink.
It's
Obviously.
ink. I also have an expensive hobby that I can't seem to pay off, but always comes in handy.
Ah,
So I think I spend a lot of time in like my weird cabin. I've set up like not quite a radio, but like I do record audio of myself, and I have like maybe 2 listeners, right? Because who the fuck else would have a radio? I have the 2 listeners because I built them the radios.
so is this like a sending stone network?
Yeah, of like 3 stones. Yeah.
My Barracuda gets it sometimes, actually. It's really good.
You can save the audio and listen to it later.
You save it in these little like these enchanted the little pouches that they use to keep seeds in. I think these ones used to be like those milkweed ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so like you just kind of cast the words into this pod, and then you
Yeah.
can pull them back out again.
Yeah.
I think it actually is a seed pouch, and if you have the stone, you open the stone's mouth and you put a seed in it, and then it eats the seed and then like
Oh.
regurgitates the audio.
How's that sound, Lex?
I'm gonna just establish my Barracuda goes sometimes picks up the broadcast. and it's actually
For sure,
pretty
for
good,
sure. Yeah.
I mean, at that point, just take the seed and shove it in your ear, and then you can just hear the audio that way.
I
They can't hear you. Their ear pods are in.
What's your crafter's name?
Puddles McGee.
We've got Bell and Puddles.
Puddles McGee.
Wow.
Puddles, what project are you working on that you just can't get right?
So all this moss, I want to turn it into a.
The suspense is killing me.
I mean, I was trying to think of something before I got to the end of the sentence, and it didn't work.
So you've got a project related to moss?
Yeah, I'm gonna do something with that moss.
Is the project you have a bunch of moss?
No, sorry,
you don't know what
mold.
to
It's
do with
mold. Sorry,
Oh,
I
it's
have
mold.
mold.
What if
is
you're
it-
Silly me.
Is
what
the
if you're
project that
trying
you
to
have a bunch of mold and you don't
what
know
if you're
what
trying
do
to
with
breed
it?
mold that eats sludge?
Mm.
Ooh.
I mean, that sounds like an actually good project.
Yeah.
Better than anything I was about to say.
Who are you trying to impress?
The local bar and grill has a poetry club, and they wouldn't let me in.
Oh,
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
you've been workshopping your poetry.
No, I don't. I've never written a single poem in my life. I just wanted in
Oh.
on a principle. I just wanted to be. I just wanted to be included.
Okay.
They said I have to write poetry to be in the poem club. So
That's
like,
messed up.
fucked up.
And then finally,
It's punked up.
who's your hookup when you can't get what you need?
Oh, that's my guy, Jarlos.
Jarlo.
You could also say
Carlos?
one of our characters.
Yeah.
I mean, do one of you want to be named Jarlos?
The name Jarlos is an unmovable anchor in this setting. Understood.
That's a fixed point.
You all can work around the word Jarlos.
Listen, everybody knows Jarlos. Jarlos got what you
That's
need.
Jarlo. That's my boy.
Jarlos took me in when I started talking about all the ghosts.
Yeah.
Oh no.
We all love Jarlos.
Okay, great. I'm writing
I
down
don't, but I'm built
Jarlos.
different.
Yeah, old man Jarlos. He's been around. He's seen some things. He hasn't been quite the same since he came back from the war.
Mm. Mhm.
We don't know what war he's talking about.
Haven't been to war. Actually, the nation's never been to war.
Yeah, we have no idea what he means,
Miraculous.
but he just hasn't been the same since. Old man Jarlos, love that guy.
Man, Jarlos.
He likes knitting.
Good for him. It's soothing.
He
Yeah.
hates multitudes.
Keeps the hands steady.
Yeah.
All right. We've got Puddles and Old Man Jarlo. Sad,
You
Emily?
said absurdity.
Or
That's
Old
true.
Man Jarlos is actually the rat.
You
No, my rat is young man Jarlos.
no.
Because he was a
Okay.
formative
Young
figure in-
Jarlos.
Yeah. No, they're JJ, Jarlos Jr.
JJ, no. What a
Aw,
sweetie. I love
AJ
him.
the rat.
J. Jonah Jarlos.
J. Jonah Jarlo.
Oh no.
Sad, Emily? Which one of you would like to go?
Yes, I'm going to be playing the amphibious. You are no longer human. You have managed to change and enhance your body to make you resemble aquatic life. Tentacles, gills, fins, all of these, or things completely different, you have managed to obtain. You have transcended the human shape to be your own body. Getting there was the hardest part, but you're not the only one. You had others to look to who came before you. They taught you a deep connection with the water and all its forms. This character's name is Bivalve.
Val.
Yeah. Bivalve's look is stiff, but also kind of weirdly smooth. And there's like kind of a strange semi sheen sometimes off of their skin. Their clothes are a cast off blouse and an ill fitting trousers, just like stuff that they've scrounged up that they wear. And then in terms of things that I have a hard, brittle exterior, openings in either side of my neck, and poison in my veins. And then I also have a daily ritual that helps me maintain my form. And that is that Bivalve will just walk into the lake and hang out underwater for a couple of hours and then come back out looking refreshed.
I don't know why I thought you were just gonna say they scream. I have no idea why. That's
Ooh, we might start moving into that for some of this other stuff. But yeah,
Hell yeah.
that's the vital stats on Bivalve.
Yeah. All right, Bivalve. What was the thing that finally made you try to transform yourself?
I think it was ultimately the overwhelming sense of hopelessness, the knowledge that the work that they were doing and the work that their parents had done, and if they were to have kids, the work that they would do, it is slowly killing all of us. And so one day they just went into the caldera, went into the lake, and a small voice kind of appeared to them and said, "Do you want to live?" And they said, "No, not like this." And they said, "Well, good. Open your mouth." And Bivalve said, open my mouth and drink? And the spirit said, no, open your mouth and breathe. And so they pulled in all of this polluted water from the lake and they came out just different.
Zan over here taking this as serious as a car crash. God damn. Open your mouth and breathe. What the? Holy shit. Larry, let's see if you've got another one.
Yeah.
Do you keep in contact with others like you, and how?
You got something you want to put on there, Lex?
No, wait. Wait. When you said you heard a voice, I don't know why the phrase, you ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight came to mind. I don't know why. I don't know why.
That was the energy I was going for. That's such a good, like, meaningless line.
My first thought was when we're just doing this now, apparently. My first thought was when you were like, do you want to live? And you were like, no. And then it's like, I don't want to live like
Okay,
this.
bye.
My first thought was like, do you want to live deliciously? Fish are delicious. With some butter and lemon.
Oh, yum, yum, yum. Give me the fish. Give me the fish.
Also, this game is teaching me, while I thought I was maybe the weird one, I think Rob has me beat a little, maybe.
Rob's definitely in a way weirder mood.
Yeah. Rob's a weirder person than me, I
I've
think.
been dealing with a lot of stress, and I needed an outlet. I'm
Hey,
finding out.
we love that here. Hey, guys. Hey, listeners. Therapy's important.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't get therapy, walk into the caldera and become something else.
Yeah.
Just
Become fish.
become fish.
Also, don't listen to me. That was not a helpful thing I said.
Hey, it happens.
Need to learn some lost knowledge. Eat a fish about it. Need a change in your life. Be a fish about it.
This is
Fish
definitely,
about
like,
it.
I know this is supposed to be the Wandering Bridge arc, but this is definitely the fish arc.
This is the
Like,
This has become the fish
everything
arc.
keeps coming back around to the damn fish. Okay.
Turn the damn frog skate.
Bivalve, do you keep in contact with others like you, and how?
Yes and no. I recognize other people that have taken on the water in the same way that I have, but we don't necessarily associate or talk much because that might be dangerous. Now, do I keep in contact with the other mussels that live in the lake and in the tributaries and help to filter out even just a little bit of the water? Oh yeah, that's who my family is now. And when I go down there to breathe, to take in some of the water and put out something fresh, we chat about things, have our little mussel conversations.
At the gym.
Yep. Under the water.
Who was the first person who made you realize you could be like this?
Might I suggest Jarlos?
It all comes back to Jarlos.
It all comes back to Jarlos.
What if Old Man Jarlos is also amphibious?
I think Bivalve was hanging out with Puddles, and we stopped by Old Man Jarlos. And at one point, like Puddles had gone out to go, had like stepped away for a minute for something. And when Old Man Jarlos was like, "Hey," like, and pointed to the sides of his neck and says, "I think it suits you." And that was like the extent of the conversation. But he gave this look that was so just like intense. And it's just like, oh wait, no, I don't just have to like cope with this. I can do more. And that's when I really started exploring what the new body can do.
Old Man Jarlos is just such a powerful and important.
We call them Jarlos.
Honestly, the name's growing on me. It is legit growing on me. It really, I'm starting to feel it now. Emily, what is your playbook?
I have the storybook. The old stories of the great oceans, the wild lakes, the dangerous depths, and such are considered lost to almost everyone. But not to you. These stories have been passed down to you, whether by community, family, or happenstance. Some say that your stories are nothing but folk tales, and some may be, but that doesn't make them untrue. Now is the time to share those stories and make everyone remember.
Yes.
Yeah. My name is Rowan. We all got the assignment and went with some very gay names. For looks, I just decided to go with all the things that are available. So for looks, I went with friendly and fatigued, which tracks.
And what's your character?
Also friendly and fatigued. Fatigued and friendly is the go-to there. Clothes, I can never pass up a worn lucky jacket.
Yeah.
I need a cool jacket. I need a coat. Some sort of nice looking leathery thing. For my choose 3, I have an important tattoo, a notebook full of my handwriting, and an impulse to overshare.
Outstanding.
I also have a relic that reminds me of a story I will never tell.
What's the relic? Don't tell me the story.
My go-to for random trinkets and such tends to be jewelry, so it's probably a lucky necklace of sorts.
What is one weird thing about the necklace?
It changes color.
Based on?
You don't know.
Ah, fuck! Let's get your prompts. Are you ready? Rowan, how did you learn the stories?
Oh, you know me. I seem to talk to anybody that I run into. And the better part that people realize is not only do I talk to them a lot, I listen to what they have to say. So I've just gone around talking to everyone that I find all over the village. I tend to hang around in like local spots and dives anyway, because they just feel nicer. And eventually you talk to the older folks and they remember more. And then you start to talk to people who you realize aren't quite the same as everyone else. They're a little amphibious, one might say, and they can tell you stories that they heard from the creatures in the water themselves, who remember the old tales of the waters a lot better than a lot of people seem to do. Of course, you try and tell people those stories and nobody believes you.
That's great. How do you keep the stories alive?
Oh, I just keep talking and talking and talking. Like I have it all written down. It's like, hey, can I read you this little thing that I wrote? Okay, I like, at the poetry club, and
Oh no, this isn't one of the prompt questions, but are you in the poetry club?
oh yeah, I'm in the poetry club.
Oh,
As soon as he said poetry club, I was like, I'm in the poetry club.
Did you found it?
Co-found.
and you won't let Puddles in? How dare you?
Hey, we need a quorum. I'm not the only voice here. We are a group. It's a society. We are trying to fight against the corporate order of hey, you must buy these trinkets to get no.
It's fucked up.
Gotta fight the system from the inside. I'm doing what I can. But also, it does state, like you could probably come to like the readings that we do. You know, you sit in on the readings and all of that. But until you write your own poetry, you can't actually be in the club.
I can't go. It reminds me of my
Like
vlog.
we're not taking unsolicited feedback. Like we're here to. It's a group activity.
As for your co-founder,
It's not Jarlos.
okay.
No, no,
Jarlos
this-
would be too inclusive. Like we have to
It's
have someone who's
Jarlos'
a bit of a
nephew.
bitch.
Oh, it's Jarlos's nephew.
Largos.
Forever.
They're not
Largos.
sure. They're not sure if it's like just a straight up nephew, if it's like a great nephew. They're related somehow.
Or like an adopted nephew or something.
Yeah.
I feel like Jarlos refers to every relative his age as brother and sister, and every relative younger than him as niece and nephew, or whatever else.
I think the name's something like Narlos or something, just like
Narlo.
nephew Jarlos.
Oh, Narlo.
Since he was adopted, he probably just has a normal name like Paul.
Maybe.
We'll figure out his name later.
His name is Paul, but he keeps trying to get people to call him Jal because he wants to feel like part of the
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 family.
family. But it
He just
doesn't
doesn't
catch on.
understand how their family name works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Paul is like deeply uncool.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Excruciatingly uncool.
He's the least Jarlos man alive.
Yeah.
This is a man who has co-founded a poetry society and is a real stickler for the rules of that
Uh-huh.
poetry society. You don't need to tell us he's not cool.
Paul has like chronic cop brain. Oh, gross. I hate
All
Paul.
Pauls are bastards.
We do have one more question for Rowan. Rowan, what is your favorite story to tell?
Oh man, my favorite story to tell. I think my favorite story to tell is probably how the caldera came to be, like how it's full of water. The origin of the lake.
Do you want to tell us now, or do you wanna just string that out as we play?
We'll find it. We know it's there.
I'm with you. Who wants to be my prompt master so that I'm not like asking?
Benjamin, what playbook are you? What even are you?
Oh God, what even am I? I'm playing the companion. Like zoinks! 2 legs are overrated. You know what's cool? 4 legs, or 6, or maybe none. You're not human, literally. Plenty of other animals have evolved to be natural fishers, and some of them like to hang out with humans. You're the plucky pet, the cartoonish comedic relief, or the solemn reminder that humans aren't the only ones impacted by climate change. Additionally, I am playing my own dog. I am playing Mildred, the Basset Hound. And you'll never guess whose Basset Hound I am. That's right. I am Mildred, Jarlos's Basset Hound.
Hell yeah. Benjamin, what are Mildred's 2 talents?
Let's see here. My look is furry and frenetic and I've got big long ears.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yes.
I have human language. Now it's not that I can talk.
Okay.
It's that I can understand human language exceedingly well, and my eyes are so expressive that you can basically figure out what my reply is. We can communicate. But moreover, just because I can understand human language doesn't mean I'm obedient. In fact, basset hounds are famously stubborn. And most of the time, I couldn't give a shit less what you want, unless there's something in it for me. That is to say, treats.
If we're wishing, Rarlos.
And then my other talent is special senses. I have the best sniffer on the Caldera. I've got a top-notch nose. And I can't swim. Can't swim for shit. Cannot do that. Sink like a stone. It's kind of a liability. But I can literally smell types of fish. Like, when I'm sitting on a boat, you can be like, "Hey, where can we go fish for grouper today?" And I'll like spin around a little bit and then like point in the direction. Like that's how precise my nose is.
Incredible.
And then I have 3 adorable eyes. Duh.
You have 3 eyes?
Yeah, I take adorable eyes 3 times. No,
Yeah.
I I have adorable eyes, an ear for secrets, and plucky optimism. You can tell me a secret by lifting my ear. My big floppy ear, you can lift it up and tell me a secret, and I will keep it there forever. Exceedingly trustworthy with secrets. I also have the ability to tell if someone is worthy of my trust by smelling them.
That is something Mildred has.
I was reading this, I'm like, "Oh my god, I can play my dog." I
So, Mildred, why did the gang bring you into their home?
I am Jarlos's basset hound. I am Jarlos's dog. But, like, I am not restrained by Jarlos whatsoever. So people who hang out with Jarlos a lot, every so often, I just go and follow them on wacky adventures. And everyone knows if Jarlos's hound is with you, you don't say no to Jarlos's hound. 1, she's too stubborn, so she's gonna come with you anyway. And 2, that sniffer's too good.
Yeah.
True. I mean, Jarlis is always saying that ownership is theft, so
Yeah,
makes sense.
Jarlos is base as fuck.
Mildred, what can you see that others can't?
Well, you can already see.
Yeah. Well, only ghosts of fish so far.
Right.
Little scent lines wafting off of pies.
No, I don't think I'm gonna do that. Instead, I think I have psychometry. I think if I smell an object, I can actually get visions of, like, the last time it was used.
Huh.
Oh yeah.
It's a very good nose.
It is incredibly powerful, this nose.
Great nose. And Mildred, how does everyone treat you differently?
I am Jarlos's dog, and everyone knows Jarlos is based. Everyone loves Jarlos.
Mhm.
And so there is kind of a weird, like, local celebrity effect. Like, I'm kinda like, especially in town, but even in the actual city of Tarsig, people know who Mildred is. And so people are always, like, stopping to, like, give me treats and stuff. And so yeah, I know. Emily's over here smiling because they know
It's
exactly this is
literally just
exactly what
Mildred.
we every time we walk this dog around, everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's Mildred. Can I pet Mildred?" So that's like people. I am a known entity.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
I think maybe also I must have gotten my face on some kind of dumb advertising thing. Even though I am free range and owned by the single most based person in history. So Jarlos is objectively based. So whatever he says is the most based thing. But somehow I got my face slapped on an advertisement for something stupid, and I'm famous for that. What am I the mascot of?
The local factory.
Yeah.
Oh no.
God.
The prestidigitation devices, the little like cleanup devices, it's Mildred's face on it.
Go with me on this. Mildred's Munitions.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I am the friendly face of an explosives factory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, and the logo that they put on their painted wood signs and stuff when you go into the munitions place is me, but I'm wearing like a half helm.
And it just says, "I'm the bomb."
Oh no.
And there's like and there's like dumb like propaganda style posters of me and like like you can buy them, but they'll be in the factories where it'll be like me with like stuff around my ears and it says make sure to cover your ears while there's an explosion going off in the
Yeah,
background and like all this other dumb shit.
it's like a weird hard hat that extends down to the
Yeah.
long ears. Yeah,
Oh no.
Oh no.
I think that Jarlos like rescued you from the PR campaign, but like they still have the rights and still use them,
Mhm.
or maybe they don't even have the rights and use it anyway.
Doesn't matter if they
I
have the
mean,
rights.
maybe
They have
that's
the power.
literally how Jarlos got you, like broke you out.
Honestly, I think that would be the most based thing possible, and we all know Jarlos does the most based thing.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I think Jarlos rescued me.
You're less Jarlos's dog and more Jarlos's roommate.
Oh yeah, we're buds.
Yeah.
No, you're Jarlos' son. Paul is nephew.
Paul was actually adopted by Mildred, not Jarlos.
True. Oh no, I found Paul.
That's why Jarlos keeps calling Paul his nephew.
All comes full circle. And Paul hasn't put it together yet. And it's just
Yeah.
like this
Doesn't
is
get
a,
it.
this is a distancing thing. I don't understand.
So I think what we're gonna do is we're just gonna keep yes-anding this thing. So whoever takes like the first character introduction is gonna start establishing part of the heist, and we're just gonna keep elaborating on it with character introductions.
All right. So Mildred's munitions, obviously, they're also just sent out because weapons are profitable. But there's a thing called blast fishing, where you just blow up the water to fish. So, what's the fastest way for terrible, corrupt industrialists to fish out of the caldera? Mildred's munitions, clearly. So we see like this section of gantry and just this like giant cartoon like land like sea mine with just a happy Macedon face painted across it, just poof, poof, just explodes out of the caldera and just like hundreds of dead fish flying into the air.
Along with those fish flying into the air, we see one larger body that comes rocketing up out of the water. That body arcs. I think even like a jet of water shoots out from one of the ports on bivalve's neck, and it changes their trajectory as they're launched over the seawall, and they land and roll, come up behind a couple of crates, inside the wall. They look around to see if if anybody saw them, and then they turn, and their body kind of convulses a little bit, almost like they're going to retch. And then out of their mouth pops a pearl. They take the pearl and they put it into the wall, and then just like with a bare fist knock it, and it sinks in just a little bit. And then with a hiss, the pearl bursts and begins to expand out this hole in the wall. Who's standing on the other side as this hole gets opened? Is everybody on the other side?
I, Mildred, am on the other side. The pearl is actually at like knee height.
Mhm.
And it expands only to about a foot wide, the hole. And it's still about 8 inches up. And so I like put my two big paws on it and I kind of like rock myself up and then clumsily fall through the hole. And then I just start trundling through the area. And there's people working and they're like, "Oh, hi, Mildred. Oh, hey, Mildred. Hey, what's going on?" And I'm like, and then nose back down, trundle, 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 trundle. And then I get to a door that says restricted access by penalty of law. And I'm going to invoke a rule, or I'm going to invoke one of my moves, which is so when Mildred breaks the law, she whines until she gets what she wants anyway. And so Mildred sits down outside of this restricted access door and just starts making little dog whines. And then eventually someone comes by and is like, "Hey, you can't go in there, buddy." And I'm like, "Oh, oh, 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 oh," and I'm like scratching at it. And then
Mildred, you're
finally
fine.
and then finally the guy is just like, "Okay, fine, just this once, but don't get any trouble." And then he opens the door and I slip on through back to trundling, sniff, 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 sniff. And I'm like sniffing the air and I'm like checking things. And then finally I find there's like a lever and I kind of scratch my way up and get it in my teeth. And then above the lever, you see a sign that says emergency release, do not touch. And I put my full weight on it and bring it down, and it opens up two giant gantry doors, and water starts to sort of spill out of this spillway back into the caldera, causing a great deal of chaos.
And we cut to red flashing magical screen being like error, like some kind of like security station. Like clearly somebody's supposed to know that this is going on. Can you prove to me that you have a soul? Because all
No.
I'm saying is I've seen a bunch of fish souls, but not any
Uh-uh.
human souls. So
Yeah.
that's leading me to think that possibly fish are cosmologically more important than us, which has a lot of weird implications. And so I just, in fact, here's the thing: if you could see my barracuda,
Oh yeah.
they're really insistent that it's important that we don't come to extinction. Now, I
Okay.
think it might be a bit of a personal and
Oh yeah,
and
sure.
like and then afterwards we get the like title card of like this was like 10 minutes prior to the lever being pulled as Belle's just like thoroughly ruining some guard's day.
10, like you get the 10 minutes later, and then it like you continue on when the alarm goes off. The other
And
guy's
so
like,
that's why I feel like honestly if we were being realistic, I feel like grass is still not that ethical to eat in a lot of ways. You know, it's
"Hey,
pretty
whoa,
important.
hold up,
to,
hold up, wait. Do you
Yeah,
hear
what's
that?
up?
Do you?
Oh yeah, sorry, that's my rat. And you see JJ has finished chewing through a wire, and the screen goes black.
The screen's gone black.
Weird, huh? Anyway, so what goes?
What is your role in this heist, Rowan?
I mean, my main thing is I'm a talker, but he's got the talking down. I'm
I've
good
got
there.
one specific guard.
You're the distraction to get those down. I'm gonna be talking to anybody we run into trying to get in these newly opened doors.
Who are you talking to? What's the scene? What's the plan here?
Well, Mildred just so helpfully opened these giant gates in a panic and caused panic. So, sure, there's going to be people maybe coming out, but there could also be people coming in. And here's the thing. I listen and I write. I write stories. And this kind of seems like breaking news in the happening, and wouldn't you know it, that the local school paper is going to have a field day with this. I'm gonna have so much fun. Hey, could I talk to you real quick? Can I tell you a story? And that is what I would do, because in the meantime, Bivalve and Puddles slip in if they would like, or whoever would like to slip in while I've got people distracted here.
Yeah, I wonder if you like draw a crowd while you're like sort of playing like stand-up journalist.
Because one of my things is when I share a story, everyone stops to listen.
Oh,
Ooh.
all
Incredible.
right.
So
So what story do you tell about this this door opening up? Like, how are you drawing a crowd?
well, you see, I remember hearing about back in the day when this factory was new. Back when they had a big security breach, it was new days. They were still opening things up, and some things went. It's again a bunch of materials went missing that were never recovered. Like they scoured everywhere in the Caldera. Like what?
I didn't know that there was a security breach here.
Hey,
Yeah,
what were the materials?
Yeah, what were the materials that got stolen?
It was like the special lining that they use for the trinkets to keep the magic in, so it doesn't
the
escape.
lining?
So it's
Oh,
it's
geez,
used
that's a
to
lot to line.
like to enclose magic in place. Yeah,
the lining's
it's
pretty
absolutely important. They literally
Mhm.
can't make anything without them. There was
Where
a
did
shortage
even
for a
lining
while. That's
come
why
from?
it delayed the opening of the factory. Like
Oh, they're
especially when it
delayed?
comes to magical munitions, things that go boom, you want to be able to contain that where it needs to be, and it
This
only
really
gets
raises
out when you
questions
want
about
it to.
management.
Oh yeah. Oh boy, I could tell you some stories about management all over town, but
Oh, you've got
especially in
stories
this
about
place and
management?
do I have stories about management? Oh golly, you have no idea.
I have heard nothing but good things about the management here. This is nonsense.
Carl, you are the
Prove
management.
it. You
What are
got
you
stories
talking
about
about?
management. You prove it.
Let me guess. Supervisor, right?
Supervisor second class. Gonna make it to first class one of these days.
No, you ain't, Randy.
Yeah, I can see you kissing ass to get there. So yeah, I just draw everybody in and just anytime they say something, I know a story about that.
Just a bunch of people standing next to the door arguing.
And I need this to be on record that Lex
Uh-huh.
is wearing exceedingly cool fucking glasses right now.
Uh-huh.
Like
Anime cool.
unbelievably good glasses.
Amidst the distraction, the camera pans to showing a fishing line come down from above and attach itself to something on one of the employees' belts. And as it pulls away, some kind of device with a big red button on it gets reeled up into the rafters. And then there's me, covered in mold and lots of pockets. And I push the button. My move being, when I go fishing, I always get something with a big red button on it.
Yes. Yes.
Is that where we cut? Like you have the button in your hand and you press it, and then it's like title
Screen goes
card.
dark.
This is
Title
a game about fishing.
Yeah.
Yes. Wait, Lex, do you have a one-liner? I feel like we're needing a one-liner.
We really need a one-liner here.
Go fish.
Thank you for listening to Patchwork. If you're here because you're hooked on Game Woven and wanted more, thank you. If you're here because it caught your eye but you're not familiar with Game Woven, hop on over to @GameWoven on Twitter, find us on World Anvil, or check out the Game Woven podcast where we have tons more content just like this. A special thank you to the regulars from our cast, Zad, Rob, Lex, and Emily, and to our fearless editor, Bree, who was not present for the recording but trimmed it down real nice for us. Thanks.